Google's on a mobile tear, Twitter is down, and we're talking mobile masters right here on Foodable Weekly. All right, welcome to another episode of On Foodable Weekly. This is a show where we really break down the restaurant industry in its entirety. We look at things from technology, social media, executive management, culinary scenes. You kind of name it, this show is really covering that. In today's topic, we're going to talk about the mobile masters of the web, and that is talking about our RSMI scores that we are seeing in Q2. The breakdown, when you look at the ranking of these brands, each quarter we look at the consumer engagement that is measured based on how consumers basically communicate with these brands on an ongoing basis, day in and day out. With me today, I've got Brandon Hull joining me. And of course, Brandon, you've been a longtime guest and friend of the show. We really appreciate you dropping in today. And of course, you're with Main Path Marketing. So Brandon, welcome to the show.
Great to join you again, Paul. Good to see you.
Yeah. So, Brandon, let's talk a little bit about what your area of expertise is in the restaurant industry. I met you many, many years ago when you were doing some, customer service, B2C type stuff. So, what's up today in your world?
Yeah, I've spent about 10 years in the restaurant marketing world. Increasingly, it's restaurant tech marketing,
right.
As the slant towards marketing is more marketing dollars is going more and more towards digital and technology infused solutions. So spent a fair amount of time with large brands and mid-sized brands with not only customer facing technologies, but behind the scene data collection in order to build guest profiles. More and more I'm seeing though that mobile is where it's at, not only from a guest profile standpoint, but from the marketing dollar standpoint. So this is a good topic for today.
Yeah.
Glad to join you on this one.
All right, so let's kind of break through the top five. These are the ones that are really kind of shaking the timbers, so to speak, when it comes to mobile engagement. Chipotle, which has been a leader in the past, fell off in a couple of quarters, but has retaken the number one slot, doing very well. Dunkin' Donuts, also another top 10 that's now moved into slot number 2, and of course this is in the second quarter. Sonic Drive-In has been a surprise this year in continued improvement around all of their social media aspects. Panera Bread dropped actually from their previous quarter ranking and is number 4 right now. And then Firehouse Subs comes in at number 5, which has also been another top 10 contender when it comes to mobile. Do you feel like there's anything that is specific to mobile usage around consumers in general that maybe help them communicate with fast casual brands better? Or is it just you feel like fast casual is kind of one of those leading categories right now?
Fast casual, definitely one of the leading categories. I don't think you're going to see anytime soon a casual dining brand break through with mobile and do well with that, just because of the nature of the experience.
Right.
And I suspect that there are several people out there, or many people out there, who in the industry who are maybe a little tired of hearing Chipotle dominating rankings and doing well with certain aspects of their marketing. But it's hard to deny what they do to engage people and what they do to reel people in, not just speak at them, but truly engage with people. And the way they involve mobile marketing is no different. The mobile app, for example, has dramatically improved over the last couple of years from one that was clunky and maybe the brand does well in spite of the app, for example, to
right.
one that is a strength for the brand now.
You know, we had a chance to sit down with Mark Crumpacker of Chipotle. One thing that he said in that interview with me was that really resonated was that they don't have a lot of money going toward advertising, so they're utilizing social to activate all these consumers. And his numbers on the amount of mobile consumers was striking. Do you feel like consumers are going to continue to really kind of embrace brands that are trying to activate them through mobile, whether it's like, Instagram contests or games or just in general?
It's not just marketing at people. They're really trying to pull people in. To your point about how Mark spends his marketing dollars at Chipotle, they're really trying to pull people in from a values standpoint. And I think that the millennials, that generation in particular, who are particularly concerned about the food that they eat, where it comes from, and how it's sourced, Chipotle pulls people in purely off of that.
Google, of course, just reported their second quarter earnings, which was up considerably. Mobile ads were one of the contributing factors. What really surprised me was the high success of YouTube and the amount of time that mobile users are enjoying videos on a weekly basis, where they're viewing more on YouTube than they are on cable. With that being the case, what do you think is going to happen in the future? I mean, are we going to just pretty much say everything we do is going to be, with the exception of maybe handling a few emails here and there and doing some productivity work, but mobile is the way of the future?
Having a mobile first strategy,
right,
if you're going after, say, for example, the millennial generation, is a smart strategy. Letting it be your lead and letting other platforms sort of be your secondary platform, you could make worse decisions, let's put it that way.
Let's take a look at a couple of other factors in this list. If you look further down on our list that we looked at, so here's an example: Veggie Grill, Mod Market, and then also Shake Shack, and even Raising Cane's, and to an extent, Jason's Deli. So these are fairly small brands. Do you feel like mobile has enabled them to really kind of communicate to their guests and their patrons more efficiently?
If you stay at the top of the list for just a minute, I don't consider any of those brands mega brands.
Right.
Chipotle with 1,800 locations, you could still argue they're a nimble brand for 1,800 locations. It sounds like a big one to some people out there, but when a McDonald's has 33,000 locations,
right,
34,000 locations, they pale in comparison. So, but again, to your point, when you look at some of these even smaller, more regional brands, I think what makes them stand out is how quick the decision making can be with how they're going to deploy to a certain network, how they're going to take advantage of a certain demographic, take advantage of certain internet memes. They're able to be really quick and decisive with how they take advantage of certain themes and opportunities, even versus, say, a Chipotle.
So missing from the list, it's the one that, of course, everybody is talking about today, and that's McDonald's. Continues to spiral. They're not even in the top 25. Just kind of curious, what are your thoughts? What's going on there with Eastbrook and the team over at McDonald's? What do you think is going to be a next step for them?
That is just a tough beast. I don't envy the team that has to try to make that brand relevant again. It doesn't seem like a month will go by where you won't hear some sort of bad news about how they're rebranding or they're testing this menu item or testing this approach in this country or in this region. They're really struggling from that standpoint, and I don't envy them. I don't know the first thing that I would do, other than the fact that everything they have done so far, or at least of late, has been very Me Too-like in its marketing. They're trying to sound like they've got a voice that they assume that they resonate with the marketplace. But I took a look at this at Next Restaurants recently, and really the engagement that they do, let's say via Twitter, for example, is exactly like some other mega brands that are old standing, multi-location, multi-thousand location burger brands, the Burger Kings, the Carl's Jr.'s, and so forth. They all sound alike. They don't stand for anything. You don't go there for any specific reason other than cost and the fact that there's going to be a location one block away. It's really more about convenience as opposed to the brand.
Yeah.
That's where they're going to struggle. I don't know what they'll do next.
So definitely lots of continued opportunity in the digital space. As always, Brandon, it's great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for stopping in today. We appreciate it.
Great to join you, Paul.
All right, for all of you guys who are watching here on Foodable Weekly, remember that every week we try to give you some of the best industry trends that's out there. Make sure and catch some of our other great shows that you may or may not know about. Of course, Table 42, our show about fine dining, Fast Casual Nation, and our all-new Rock My Restaurant Pro. Rock My Restaurant Pro is a little bit different, though. The cool thing about it now is you can actually subscribe to it and get new deep dive workbooks and all sorts of tips and tricks from our host there, Eric Norman and Mr. Bill Bender. So make sure and check that out at foodabletv.com. We thank you for watching today right here on Foodable Weekly.